Welcome everybody to another full week of work here on our eBay store. If you guys are new to the channel, I want to introduce you to this series where we take a look at my eBay store every single week, see what kind of progress we made on it, and see how much money we're making. But this week was quite an interesting one. It was a very busy week full of many different tasks. We received some of the largest video game lots that we've ever received in the history of running the video game store, as well as we got plenty of video game consoles that we had to go through and test and get listed on the platform. Between the two of them, we had a very full schedule, but we managed to actually get through majority of the stuff that I wanted to get through this week, which is why I'm excited to make this video and show you guys what we got done. Before we get started, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, I would highly suggest that you go on below and do that. Also leave a like on the video if you enjoy it, and let's get right into where we started this week off. So as we normally do, we started off this week with some sales. We get a nice little stack here, a lot of loose discs, which was nice to see, as well as a pretty nice stack, some PS2, 360, Wii stuff, a good variety of things that were going out. Once we had everything packed, it was time for me to take a look at this massive box that had arrived that was full of video game consoles. Airval actually came over and joined me for this day, and we started out by laying out all of the consoles on the table with a couple TVs, and we started testing through them all. We had PlayStation 3s, PS1s, PS2s, 360s, everything you could think of, we had it. You can see here Airval had some fun playing a racing game for the PS1 as we made sure they all worked and played all the discs. And in one of them, a Wii actually, I found a nice little surprise. So I wanted to share this, guys. I picked up this Wii from Value Village yesterday for $19.99, and I ended up getting a little bit more of a discount on it too because I used some points. So I paid, I think, like 16 bucks for it, and occasionally every once in a while you get something that's actually makes this thing like double your money, because we got a really good game in here. It was Mario Party 9, and that was just sitting in this Wii. I've just tested it, it's working, and the Wii is working as well, which is fantastic. That basically doubles our profit. If I paid 16, I was probably gonna make about $35 on this. Now I'm going to be probably making more like $60, $70 on this, which is just fantastic. Also, I've been testing a ton of other consoles. I got the Xbox 360 here that's just working out right now. That had Forza Motorsport 4 in it, which was exciting. So a lot of really good finds today, and I'm just going to keep working here. We are almost done testing all of the consoles. And luckily, it wasn't much longer after that we wrapped up that day of testing. And literally, it was that entire first day of the week that we spent testing all the consoles and making sure they all worked. But by the end of it, we had a box full of all the consoles. We had another box full of all the controllers, and another box full of all the cables that then we would go and make bundles for the next day when we went to list them. Now, I'd initially planned on doing the consoles the next day with Airval, but we had some schedule changes, so instead I decided to dive into some of the games that we had got. If you watched last week's haul, you had seen how many games that we got in, and there were so many of them. So I decided to lay them all out on the table, organize them by console, combine all the lots together to make it a little bit easier to test, and this is what we ended up with. Some absolutely massive stacks of video games here. As you can see, lots of PS3 stuff, lots of Xbox 360 stuff, lots of PS2 stuff, Wii stuff, just anything you can name, we had it, and it was just a very overwhelming stack at that. Before I started testing, I thought it might be a good idea to pull some sales, and our sales have actually been up quite a bit over the last couple weeks, and this day definitely proves that. As you can see here, we had a lot of nice games that sold. We had two big stacks here. They were actually no combined orders there. I think these were all going to separate people, and we had quite a few there in total, and some loose games here on top as well. As you can see, quite a few interesting ones there, but overall a really good day for sales. A couple non-video game related items as well that sold this week. We had a set of VTech phones that sold, and I think these sold for $35 for this entire set, which was not top dollar, but definitely was enough for us to get rid of them. Additionally, I sold this really cool Halo statue for the Xbox 360. This is something that Airval picked up way back when. I think we got $40 on that. The rest of this day was spent testing some games, and then later on that day, Airval actually picked me up and we went to pick up a few different Facebook Marketplace lots that we had found. So we actually ended up with a couple extra PS3s, but we didn't deal with those these weeks, so I'll have to wait till next week to see what we do with those. Anyway, once we got back, I decided to squeeze a little bit of late night listing in, and I got a nice stack of PS2 games done here. Here they all are in the box, and the total there for those was 22 games for $183.78. The next day started off strong with a box that we received in the mail, another Marketplace buy that was a PS2 with the guitar and a whole bunch of games that came with that lot, and we paid I think $170 for it, but we're thinking about doing some sort of Guitar Hero PS2 bundle that should pay for the entire lot, and then those games will end up being free. Definitely an expensive one, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Just a couple sales going out this day. We had one loose disc as well as a few good games, actually. Red Dead Revolver, Ratchet Deadlocked, and then a couple other good ones there that sold. Airval then came over after, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't film a lot of this because we were so focused on getting all those consoles drafted up and ready to get listed, but we did managed to get them all done. So here's a look afterwards at all of the bags. We decided to put them in Value Village bags and then label each bag to match a custom SKU on eBay so we could find the consoles easier once they sold. We had 360s, PS3s, PS2s, Wii bundles, and we were just bundling controllers with consoles and cables, trying to make things that made sense, and this is what we ended up with. At the end here, you can see some boxes that had a couple consoles left. These were ones that we didn't have the correct cables or controllers to bundle with, so we saved them and actually placed an order for some replacement cables that are coming in next week. The next day here, guys, was just about getting games listed, and I spent quite a bit of time testing through all the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 stuff that we had to make sure that we were getting it done and could get some more stuff listed this week, because video games are a big priority these days. So we ended up with this entire stack on the table. There was 3 stacks of PS3 stuff, 2 stacks of Xbox 360 stuff that was all now ready to get listed. I began photographing some stuff. I'm not gonna lie, this all happened pretty late night, so again, I didn't get too much footage. I'll be trying to get some more time lapses and stuff for you guys next week. But anyway, we ended up finishing up the PS3 listings for that night with just a nice box of them here. I think we did in total 27 games for $277.73. That brings us to a big milestone. This week we started out with about 2,800 listings or so on the video game page, and our goal was to hit 3,000. I'm happy to say that as of yesterday night, when I finished up those listings, we had just hit 3,005 active listings, which was super exciting. So I'm glad that we were able to hit that milestone this week, and we got all those games listed onto the eBay store. That brings us to this morning when I decided that I would get up early and wrap up some more listings. So I decided to tackle a bit more of the PS3 stuff. This was the second stack left, and I managed to get all of these PS3 games listed that you see in this box here, and that totaled 24 games for $208.76. Now, the video game consoles I mentioned earlier are just drafted as of right now. They don't count as listings yet because we still have to actually list them on eBay. But essentially what we do is we go through, draft them all onto eBay on our phones, and then we can go through later and add all the item specifics and details on the actual computer platform, because I find it's a little bit easier to do on there, and then we get them listed. Our goal is to probably do that this weekend or even early next week, but once those consoles are listed, it's going to be full blown back into the games, and we're going to hopefully get the rest of those games that we picked up this week done and listed. With that, however, guys, that brings us to right now when I'm shooting this video. So I'm excited that, we had a very productive week and we got a lot done, a lot of games listed, and overall with the kind of circumstances that were thrown at us, we had a lot of consoles to do. I was surprised that we even got that many games listed. So I'm glad that we were able to make some progress there. And again, a good week for sales overall. You can see we had a couple really strong days there. I'm hopefully going to be able to do another breakdown coming up here soon, breaking into our actual sales numbers for the last year and also going into January so far this year. So stay tuned for that video because I think that could be a lot of fun. But other than that, guys, that is going to wrap up this week, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm going to be trying to film more and more of this stuff. It gets a little bit tricky because there's so much going on throughout the week, and to get a lot of footage and then to come through and make these videos takes quite a bit of work, but hopefully you guys are enjoying them, and I'll continue to do them here. I've got some new ideas going into next week, which I think could be really cool. If you guys did enjoy this video, as always, go down below and let me know by hitting the like button. That also lets YouTube know that you liked it and maybe could help suggest it to a few more people. Also, leave any comments, questions, concerns down below. I'd be happy to try to get back to you on those. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you guys all in the next video.